Okay, this video is being redone again because I didn't like how that video came out. Didn't sound energized or focused in that video, so I'm redoing this video. This is going to be my thoughts of the Bound for Glory card that just came out. Just giving you my thoughts and impressions of the card so far. But before I get to that, I got to talk about the WWE not adding blood to Hell in a Cell. I mean, why would the WWE do something like that? I mean, the Hell in a Cell is a synonymous with a steel cage, and it's synonymous with blood. I mean, hence that's one of the reasons why it's called Hell in a Cell. As you take your, it's like it's ending a feud, and it's like sort of bringing your opponent to hell, and just ending a bloodshed feud, and that's pretty much what the Hell in a Cell is. And just look at some of the matches and think of some of the matches that happened in Hell in a Cell. You had the first Hell in a Cell between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. That was a bloodbath with Shawn Michaels' blood just all over the place and him getting busted open. You also had the Mankind and Undertaker match where Mankind was just had blood all over his face and coming from his mouth, and I believe he had his teeth coming out of his mouth. Well, he had some missing teeth coming from from his mouth. You also had the Brock Lesnar Undertaker matchup. That was a very bloody and violent Hell in a Cell match. You also had the Hell in a Cell match from last year between Undertaker and Edge, Batista and Triple H. So why would you break a tradition of taking blood out of a Hell in a Cell? That's what makes the match more important, and it makes the match unique, and that's what makes it so different, and it sets itself apart from any other type of a match because mainly it has something to do with blood, somebody falling off from a cage, or just some other violent activity. And by eliminating the blood from this matchup, it just makes the match sort of worthless, and all pretty much all you got is just two guys wrestling and beating the hell out of each other, but with no blood, and that just makes no sense at all. But hopefully the WWE can fix this problem and give the fans what they want, which is blood in a Hell in a Cell, and not break the tradition. But it looks like the WWE is going to go this route and give us a Hell in a Cell with no blood, and that's pretty much. It just doesn't sound right. A Hell in a Cell with no blood. It's like a cobra with no venom. I mean, a cobra can't really do anything without any venom in its body, and that's pretty much what the Hell in a Cell reminds me of. But hopefully the WWE can fix this problem. But like I said, it's gonna continue, and thus we're gonna get a Hell in a Cell with no blood. So, getting onto the topic of this video, usually I don't really talk about TNA in my videos. I talk about WWE, or sometimes I might mention ROH in my videos, but today I just planned on doing a video talking about the TNA Bound for Glory card so far, as I've seen some of the matches that were added on the internet, or they've been leaked out on the internet, and I just thought I'd give my impressions on some of the matches. So we start off with the first match that got added on here. It was Matt Morgan. It's Matt Morgan against Kurt Angle. This should be a pretty good, decent matchup. If I remember correctly, these two had a match before Matt Morgan got involved with the whole main event mafia thing and turned heel, and it was a pretty good television matchup. And Matt Morgan looked like $1,000,000 against Kurt Angle, and he held his own in this matchup. I mean, Kurt Angle walked him through the match, but Matt Morgan pretty much held his own in this matchup, and that's what made this match sort of a pretty good, decent TV match. Now, if they can pull off something more better than what they had in that TV matchup on Impact, I forgot the date that those two had that matchup at, then this should be a pretty good, decent matchup, because Matt Morgan has been coming into his own in TNA ever since the focus has been put on him, and Kurt Angle is Kurt Angle, so you already know what you're going to get with Kurt Angle. So I expect to see a good matchup between two guys who are just going to give it out and give it their best, and Kurt I look for Kurt Angle to pretty much do his thing in this matchup, and look for Matt Morgan to impress a lot of people and hold his own in this matchup. The second match that just got added onto this card, and it's a matchup I really didn't expect, because I really thought they were going to go with the Bobby Lashley versus Kurt Angle type of matchup, is Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe. Now, really, this should be a pretty good, decent match, because Samoa Joe is known for his ground and pound and tough Arsenal type of style, and his style will be able to work around Bobby Lashley's style. So I suspect a really good matchup. And Bobby Lashley is more of a powerhouse type of a wrestler who's more of a pound and ground type of wrestler. So pretty much these two styles should be able to mix well. But the main problem I have with this is the TNA is trying to groom Lashley, and I just hope that TNA doesn't make groom Lashley over Joe's expense, because Samoa Joe is just too much of a talent to wrestler and too much of a good wrestler to be jobbed out the way, if they're gonna job him out like they did with Rhino. So hopefully TNA doesn't job out Samoa Joe to Bobby Lashley, and hopefully Samoa Joe gets the win over Bobby Lashley, or they end this match in a DQ, because I just don't want to see TNA like mess up Samoa Joe, because his character, although his character is kind of, people don't really like his character. His character sort of been developing the last couple weeks with this whole motionless type of heel and whatever, and that's pretty much what I like about this character, is it's sort of growing, and he's trying to establish himself back with this character. But if TNA just buries him like they did with Rhino, then nobody's really gonna care about his character, and I'm pretty sure people are gonna riot if he loses. So hopefully Samoa Joe wins, or he loses by DQ and doesn't get jobbed out like how Rhino got jobbed out at No Surrender. But knowing TNA, they have their they have their thing with Lashley, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna job out Joe to Lashley. Then the next match that was added on this card was the knockout tag team title match between Rita and Taylor Wilde versus the Beautiful People. Now, really, this should be a pretty good, decent matchup. Expect the same thing between these four girls, like their No Surrender matchup. So, really, I don't expect anything less between these four girls. And then we got the fourth matchup, which is the Monsters Ball match between Abyss and Mick Foley. Hopefully they add more guys into it, and it's not just Abyss and Mick Foley, because if it's Abyss and Mick Foley, then it's really not going to be that good of a matchup, because as much as I like Mick Foley and I think he's a good wrestler, at this point of his career, he's really not that same type of wrestler, and that's pretty much what I feel about Mick Foley, as he's not the type of wrestler that can carry Abyss to a good matchup. But don't get me wrong, Abyss is a very good wrestler, but he needs someone who could carry him and make him care about his match. So hopefully they add some good, decent talent into this matchup. Then moving on to the next matchup on here, it's for the TNA title. It's the TNA title match between the TNA World Heavyweight title match between AJ Styles versus Sting. Really, this should be a pretty good, decent matchup. You know what you're going to get with AJ Styles. He busts his butt in the ring. He always gives you 110%. But it all depends on how motivated, or how good Sting will be on this night at Bound for Glory, and how much he's gonna put into this matchup. That's gonna determine how well this matchup's gonna be. Really, though, I expect this to be a good matchup, because hey, it's AJ Styles and Sting. Although Sting has been having his ups and downs with pay-per-views, having good matches and then having bad matches, I expect this to be a pretty good, decent matchup. It could be one of the matches of the night if Sting has his A game at Bound for Glory, but who knows? But still, I expect this to really be a really good matchup. The thing that I don't want to see TNA do, though, is give the belt to Sting, have Sting go over, and then have Sting lose the next night. Please don't do that, as you got a champion in AJ Styles, and you got to establish him and give him some credibility. So don't have AJ Styles get squashed and have him lose on his first pay-per-view title defense. Please don't do that. So hopefully TNA does the right thing and AJ Styles goes over. But yeah, this is just my video giving my quick thoughts about the TNA Bound for Glory card so far. Hopefully you like my video. You can rate, you can comment, and I hope to give you another video sometime whenever I upload another video. It could be a rant, it could be a top 10. You just never know what video I'm going to end up throwing at you, so be on the lookout for that. Until then, thank you for watching. Fitness65 out. Peace.